farmers, welcome back to Hinterland. I'm getting the Franks all set up here to harvest the barley field. Looks like we got Frank in the case Magnum. That is down right, ready to rock and roll. And let's see who's going to jump into the Fendt combine here in just a moment. We need to create a job though. So it's middle of July, and last episode we harvested the oat field. We're going to be working in that field in just a moment with the JCB and the lime spreader, getting the pH value in that field all set. Let's see, field work, course play. Let's see, this field here. And then target position will kind of like start in that general direction. Let's see, we want to do 2 headlands, and I will narrow that 15.4 meter header down to 15.2, just to make sure we don't miss anything, I suppose. And then create work. Okay, that does not seem right, because I did not put in the number of headlands. That would be helpful. Now generate course. That does not look right. Is that all the number of passes it's going to take? I did a lot of passes on this field. That does not look right. Why is that off? Alright, that is looking better. My problem was I had multiple tools. It showed as 2 for some reason. Number of vehicles on the same course. So, yeah, that's going to cause some issues. But we are all set to rock and roll. That looks a lot better. Let's go ahead and we'll start up the combine. And, of course, we'll get the whole process started for it. It should be a straw swath that we got behind us. This field here should harvest rather well. I don't think it's going to be bumpy or anything like that for it. Alright, so Control H, hire myself a worker. And it looks like Franco's going to be the one that's harvesting the barley field for us. So while I've been picking up the silage bales, which the silage bale shed's getting kind of full, I can only make 2 more trips with this thing, counting this one here, and the bale shed will be full for silage. So the rest of it I could bring over to the BGA and get processed. We'll have to see about that. But another thing I've been thinking about while I've been bringing these bales over, cakes. Yeah, of all things cakes. I think I said in the series we're not going to bother doing cakes, but now that we got strawberry milk going, we're already making all the products we need to make cakes. So I turned on the cakes at the bakery. That's going to help us use some flour up in there, because that's getting kind of full. And all this barley is probably end up going to the bakery to be made into flour, because we're taking all the oats mostly over to the flavored milk factory. So we're not going to be making any grain grits this year, and we're saving the wheat for the chickens. So, yeah, with the chickens now, with eggs, we can bring the eggs to the bakery, and that's going to help us make some cakes. So that is all working out for us, I do believe. And in about, a year or 2, all these productions will really be flowing really good. The money will be rolling on in. We'll dig into that loan. We'll be able to buy ourselves more equipment. Not a whole lot more, but a good amount. We got like probably 80% of the equipment that we need. But I think the next purchase, other than the potato header for the root crop harvester, I can see ourselves getting the John Deere as well pretty darn soon. Because I would like to not replace the Voltra itself that we're in. I want the Voltra to stay by the cow barn and just run like the feed mixer, and put bales in and just like shuttle small stuff around. Like the John Deere could, or even the JCB should be doing this type of job right here. But here we are. So the few things I still need to get done this month: the grass field to our left need to be made into conditioned grass. I need to head up on the hill, get some logs, get that into the sawmill. And then of course we are going to throw some pH/lime in the oat field that we harvested last time and get that field up and going. and get ready for the next harvest or the next planting. All right, let me go ahead and turn on this baler here. Not the baler, but the baling trailer. Why is the header... What's going on over here? Oh, I know what's happening. The combine can't be full already, can it? Did I miss the message that it was full? It is full. This is a good harvest. I mean, if we compare it to the oat field I made a good headland around there, but I guess with barley, we're just getting that much more crop. All right, let's go ahead and pick this on up here. Let's grab the truck, shall we? Now, for now, all the barley is going to go into the silo. I don't want to bring it over to the bakery because we got plenty of flour. We're actually backing up on the flour a little bit. And now that we're making cakes, that means we are going to need more sugar. And of course, now with sugar going to the bakery, the flavored milk, and the dairy production, I think all the sugar beet we harvest this year will probably be going to the sugar production. I was expecting the harvester to get all the way around at least once, so yeah, I mean, the soil could be different here. What's the harvest rate looking like in this field? Well, right now it's not the greatest. It's at 84%. We got good crop rotation in this field at 110%, but the soil is just terrible. What's the pH value? pH value still says it's good there. All right, so you should be continuing. Okay, so Frank decided to quit, and I think he's blocking the combine. Now the combine wanted to back up more. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. And now you're being blocked by everything else. Just when you think things are going to go smoothly, this happens. And I think it's a little bit my fault. I think, if I remember, on Course Play in No Man's Land, when I got the baler filing behind Course Play, you got to set it for like 45 meters, not 25. So let me go ahead and let's get things moved around here a little bit. And I'll reset the follow me worker, whoever it may be this time. Okay, now you're realizing that you're empty, so you can continue. That's the only thing about trying to bail when you're following Course Play is when the tanker gets full, Course Play will move over a row to give you room to go in there with a trailer and collect the crop out of it. And so let me go ahead and do this. And then do that. Now you're falling 45 meters behind. You're good. And now Francine's going to take over. I think she will do wonders. All right. Now with that all squared away, I hope. And once we get the headlands done, I think it'll be a little bit easier for Course Play and everything. Let's grab the JCB Fast Track. Let's disconnect the trailer header. All right, so what have I taught? That threw me for a little. I had my whole train of thought of what I want to talk about, and now that whole getting the workers going kind of threw me off. I talked about the cakes, the sugar beet going to be all made into sugar this year, nothing going to the BGA. I mean, we were making decent electricity with that sugar beet, but I think we can make more money with it possibly by making sugar and, of course, flavored milk, cake, and chocolate. We need to get up on the hill, grab the logs, which we will do once we get the harvest done, because right now the truck is being used, as you saw, for collecting grain. And then, of course, we got to cut the grass field to get conditioned grass, and we're going to bring all those bales over to the bale shed and then feed the sheep as much as they want. And for some reason, I'm shutting off the engine because I'm hitting the wrong buttons. It's gonna be one of those days again. One of those days. All right, let's go ahead and fill this up with some lime. I was actually looking at a smaller John Deere in the shop. It's not for sale, but I was trying to figure out, you know, what tractor do we really need? I mean, yeah, I do want a John Deere around here. I know many of you do as well. I'm just downsizing from a 9R down to a, you know, I was looking at a 7R, and then I was looking at this tractor right here. Where is it? The 7810 right here for, you know, $99,000. But for some reason it says $2,000 for the options because it's got wide tires on it, which I would like anyways. Horsepower is 175. That's kind of like our Voltra, isn't it? Isn't our Voltra? I don't think it's one. Actually, the Voltra is 201. So yeah, that tractor is a little bit too small. So I think a Series 7 is going to be what we need. It'll take us a couple months to get there. And we got another full grain tank already. The barley is just coming off that field. Holy smokes. The oat field, I made a complete headland around that field before we got full. Did the grain tank get smaller on the combine? I barely had enough time to get the JCB over and filled up with some lime. Alright. Let's grab this right here. Probably should leave the engine on for the amount of many times I got to go around. So look how Francine did. Francine did wonders. She didn't get right on the back end of the combine. Let the combine do its thing. But now the combine with course plate, now it's on the second headland. It's not going to do where it moves over a row because it knows it harvested the field here. So it doesn't have to move over to allow me to get into that area to unload it. And it does that on the first headland because it doesn't know if there's a fence line, trees, or anything there. You are going to continue, so I'm going to have to follow you around. Thought I had you on stop while unloading, but I'll have to change that setting. Not that big of a deal because one thing about the Ideal Harvester, that auger pipe is nice and thick, so it unloads rather quickly. Yeah, and I was talking last episode, and I kind of forgot one thing of the reason why we went with this header here, the smaller one. It wasn't because the 60-foot header can cause problems, which it can. The bigger the header, especially on this, with the land being as uneven. I wouldn't say this land's uneven, but you know what I'm talking about. I'd probably miss more spots. But if I went this also with a 60-foot header, I would not be able to do what we're doing right now, which is unloading as we go, because that header would be into the trailer. This pipe is not long enough. Are you empty-ish? Yeah, I think you're empty-ish, so you can continue doing what you're doing. And now I should leave that engine running, but I turned it off. Like this engine's running. We need to pick up the bales because pretty soon that combine's going to go zigzag back and forth and the bales could be in the way. Just got to get used to using workers once again. Wait, why did that turn off? Left Control R. Why aren't you picking up that bale? Okay. Just having a whole bunch of issues here today with the controls and commands. Alright, let me go ahead and actually unload this. Alright. I think it's because the straps are going over it and it's stopping the autoloader from working just by going around. Is that true? Is that what's going on there? Alright. We'll get it all figured out here. By the time I get these bales picked up, the combine's going to be full again. And I'll never get lime spread on that the whole field. But we will get it done. I guess this is the type of field I should just harvest myself with the amount of yield coming off it. And I can drive around the bales. I probably will go around and pick up the messy straw on this field. Not so much on the other field. There's not that much straw there. And we do have a good amount of straw. Oh, that reminds me, I got to bring water over to the straw production to get that up and going. Alright, so now combine's going to start going back and forth on the field. It's probably going to go down to the other end, I suppose. And I don't think the baler is going to drop any more bales. So let me go ahead and we're going to park the Vulture over here. But what I am going to do, though, before I get started in the JCB, we're going to jump back into the truck. And we're going to empty out that combine. Let's stay out of the grain, because I will harvest that later on. Franco, where are you going? We'll figure it out here in a moment where he's going. Alright, so it must be the way the field is. In order to get the angles just right, he's going to start down here. So, already 40,000 liters of barley. So we might end up with 80,000, just like we did with the oats. All right. And I probably will drive through that crop a little bit. I did. We just lost 25 liters of barley. All right, I'm going to leave that truck running to make it eat my life a little bit easier, I think. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the lime spreader. I should be able to do this entire field without having to refill. It's not going to take that much lime. And if you're new to precision farming, this is what precision farming is all about. The sensors know how much lime the soil requires. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you can see there's a graph up there, a bar, and the checkered flag is where the soil needs the pH value to be. And the little red bar to the left is where the current value is, so it knows how much lime to put down. With the base game and the lime, it just puts down the standard rate. And you have to lime the field every 3 times. And basically, we still do that in precision farming. But you can do it after every harvest if you want to keep the harvest up. So with base game lime, like I said, it's every 3 harvests you got to put lime down. And correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably am going to be, but I think base game, if you don't lime the field when it requires it, you lose 15% yield. In precision farming, you can, you're going to lose value after every harvest, but not a whole lot. So, I would just recommend liming after every 2nd or 3rd harvest if you want, or not at all, depending on what you want to do. Can't really keep an eye on Franco and Francine over there. But those two work well together. I don't think we're going to have any issues with those two over there. The only issue I may have is not paying attention to the combine, stopping when it's full. So I have seen some comments come in after last episode about planting trees. And yeah, I think planting some maple trees around here. I think we might actually use the other planter. I mean, I'd rather not. I'd like using the excavator to plant the saplings just because the trees are so small you can barely see them. And to watch them grow like they do is kind of interesting to me and fun. Compared to the cheaper way and easier way, which would be grab the other planter. I could lease that and just use a regular tractor and just grab 20 saplings and plant those. But yeah, plant some maples and some other type of trees around here. Like someone did say, we don't have to plant all the oak trees that we purchased in that planter, which would be quite a bit. 240 is what comes in that planter, and I think we planted 40 of them so far. But it would be good to have a whole bunch of different type of species of tree around here, other than oak. Although we could call it like Oak Farms or something like that. Would be nice to have like a big wooden sign as a mod to where you can type in words or what have you, so you can name your own farm. There are digital signs, and we did use that on East Island to identify the pig food and compost, because I was having issues with that. There were some kind of signs like that in FS19. But would be a nice little mod to have, so you can name your own farm. And there might be one out there. I just, haven't seen it. There's a lot of mods and mod sites out there. I tend to basically now stick to just the ones on the Mod Hub. I do visit the third-party mod websites once in a while because you do find some interesting mods out there. There's actually a map on a third-party website that I would like to use. It's kind of like it's kind of the map I'm looking for. I want to do a little series on. I don't want to give anything away because I want to say this is what I want to do, and I may never do it because sometimes you may get on the map and find out it's not the one for you anyway. So there's a possibility I might be using a third-party map here in the future. Oh, we got a full grain tank. All right. So we'll just turn this off for a moment. And let's go grab the truck. It's kind of good that I'm working right here, because we're not that far, but even though it's kind of weird because we're teleporting anyways. It could have been on the other side of the map. We're going to teleport to it. Francine's not going to be happy with that big straw pile. Franco, you're just going to go about 2 meters and then you're going to stop. Well, that's not close enough. And the truck just barely gets under that auger pipe. Now that's close enough. Yep, you went about a meter, then you stopped. Already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Although I did at the time speed up to 3, which is, I usually just play it 1 time and then fast forward time as I need it. Don't know how many of you played, you just leave it the times, the speed time at a certain speed, or do you go down to like a certain speed and then speed it up like I do when you want to? Alright, so we'll leave the truck running like I said. Let's jump back into the JCB. Okay, turn that back on, and off we go. Alright, so I may actually have to refill, but we've only used about 40% so far. Also, in case you didn't catch it, of course, as I'm recording, the video went out today, early this morning. Giants did announce and release the beta version of multiplayer competitions, if you will, where you can go to arenas and face off against other players, if you like, with bale stacking skills and other type of competitions. So if you're wondering how to get involved in that, like I said, the video went out on Wednesday morning. So just go ahead and check for that. And it'll show you how to opt into it. It's free for you as well. It's nothing you have to pay for. But you have to opt into the beta version. And apparently it'll be just like when you log into Farming Simulator 22. It'll be an option at the home page. I haven't done it yet myself because this came out this morning. And with my bale stacking skills, I think it's best I better not go on there. If you want to have an idea of what it could be like, and there may not be videos out, but there might be videos out on it by now by the time you see this. If you just do like on YouTube search, Farming Simulator League FS19, you can kind of see what it's like in some cases. I'm pretty sure they've changed some things and done some other things differently. But the ones that played in those leagues, there were a million times better than what I'm ever going to be at stacking bales and doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, so in the future, I would like to have, like the John Deere, maybe doing something like this, and the JCB could be doing the bale transporting, and the Valtryek can just sit back at the farm to shuttle some things around. That's all really it was bought for. But since we're a little, I don't want to say limited. I mean, we started off with quite a bit. That's why we got a $10 million loan. But yeah, we need a few more tractors around here. And even, like I said, the Case Magnum is a little bit overpowered for what it's doing, but we're using what we got. I probably should jump back over here in just a second to empty out the combine, but it's going the wrong direction for me, I think. Actually, I think it's getting ready to turn around. So let me go ahead and we'll just turn this off for a second. Let's grab the truck. That way we keep the baler and that process moving. A lot of straw bales. So the straw production will be going pretty good because we don't need this much straw currently for the cows, but in the future we probably will. Really? You got a full grain tank right there. Okay. I was waiting for you to go forward a little bit, but yes, you do have a full grain tank. Oh, and I didn't see the beacon on. So the beacon usually comes on when the grain tank gets 80% full. But that one doesn't show up that well, although it's the middle of the day. So we're going to be probably close to 110,000 liters of barley off this field. Okay, maybe not 110, but pretty darn close to it, I think. Over 100 maybe? Really got to hug that header in order for that pipe to actually unload into the trailer. Okay, I think we're good. It's not emptying out as fast, so we'll go ahead and just park that right there. All right, back to the JCB. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this done. We'll get the harvesting done, Then we can use the truck to get the straw production up and going. And then we'll grab the logging trail to head up on the hill. We'll grab the rest of the logs out there and put that in the sawmill because the sawmill is just about empty. And we got to make sure that keeps up and going. Alright, finishing touches here. And yeah, we got plenty of lime left over. Well, when I mean plenty, I didn't have to go up and refill. And we're not going to get that little spot right there because the sensors are not going to know that's a bare spot, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. You can deactivate automatic application rate with precision farming and cover little spots like that if it bothers you, but I'm going to consider that good. Let me turn that off. We'll leave that in the field. We're going to come over to the wheel. Oh, that's loud. We'll wait for him to get to the end of the row at least. And we'll dismiss Franco. And we'll do some harvesting ourselves. Although I'm not going to get to the end of the row, I don't believe. Yeah, that baler does a lot better job than all the balers I have used. It's not missing many bits. Alright, so now I'm just hoping for 100,000 liters because I said closer to 110. Yeah, so we're not going to make it to the end of the field. Actually, right there. Back up just a tad. I could have got out and actually ran to the truck, but here we are. Let's go. Yeah, we got 100,000. All right, at least we got 100,000. And now, since we're in our second year of harvesting, yeah, the crop and productions are starting to get up and going. Which means next year we'll start to be able to sell some more products. One production we may not use too much, although it does make a good amount of money for us, would be the hay pellets. But with the grass that we got, we're going to need it all for silage and hay. For the TMR and the sheep. Although if we do get a lot of extras, we can make hay and bring that on over to the hay pellets because it sells for a good lot of money for hay pellets. If you just sell the hay, I think the hay pellets sell for like 3 times as much. But when you feed it to the animals, you actually lose because it's 2 hay for 1 hay pellet. But when you go feed the animals, it just counts as a liter. So you're just better off feeding them hay instead of hay pellets. Seems kind of weird, but that's the way it is. Now let's get the corners here. And we're probably going to lose Francine in a bit because I'm going to go too far for her, I think. If she gets lost, not that big of a deal. But I got to come down to this corner here and get this little bit over here. And then that bit up there that can circle back around to the truck and unload. Okay, so there really isn't that much down here as I thought there was. Probably not even worth it. But here we are. And then in August, of course, we'll have the wheat harvesting and other things to harvest. I think. Maybe just wheat. Yeah, Francine's just lagging behind because she can only, with the baler on, she can only do 10 miles an hour. And I do realize there's other mods out there that can allow us to increase the speed, base speed of working implements. But I'm happy with the way they're working. I don't think we need to speed things up. Some areas I do, some areas I don't. We all have our preferences. Just like I saw, and I had to click on the YouTube video. I'm not going to say who it was. I don't actually remember who it was, but it said mowing made easy. And they had the Krone Big M, but it was a modded one. And I think if this was a grass field, that Big M could have mowed it in 3 passes. Because they added extensions onto it. And I'm like, okay, that's a little bit too extreme for me. I don't mind going on the extreme side. But that was a little bit even too much for me. Alright, so how much? Okay, 107,000 is what we ended up with. Let's cover up the grain. That way it won't fly out. Let's bring this on in. Put this into the silo. And then we'll grab the water tanker. I think that's ready to go in full. We'll bring that over to the straw production. We'll put water into there and make sure that production gets started, because that stuff sells good in September, which is not far away. And then we'll grab the logging trailer, head up on the hill and grab the logs. And the only thing that we'll need to do in the month of July is mow this grass field. And I think that would pretty much cover it. I think. Not too sure. Yeah, putting these oak trees in over here on the other side of the stone wall definitely added to the character of the farm itself. Looks lovely, I think. And of course, we will continue working on the farm in the future once we have more cash. Some more landscaping. But we got a good start. This is our second full year here, if we don't count the first year, which starts in August. But this is our second full year here. And in the first year, we spent $10 million to get this farm up and going. And we're still adding as we move along. Should never have a problem with a silo. This silo can take like 95% of what we're doing here. It may actually take all of it, but I'm just going to say 95% to cover myself a little bit. Let me go ahead and we'll just put this here. And also that silo, I do believe can hold 15 million liters. I'm guessing this is full of water. And I'm guessing I need to back up a little bit better. Alright, let's go ahead and close those on up. Alright, straw production. Let's get that up and running. I'll have to keep my eye on that because it doesn't have a great storage capacity for straw. Sorry, not the straw itself, but the products. I do have it on spawning to give us a little bit more room, but... Alright, chickens, now that we're making cakes, I'm going to need you guys to really start coming through on the production. I know it's going to take a moment, but once you get going, it's going to be great. Alright, make sure I take the correct road here, not the first road. The one between the restaurant and the livestock market. I think what I need to do is I need to buy this land so I can take care of the road and then sell the land back. Alright, it was a little tricky getting the water in last time. I think I almost had to hug the wall. There we go. Where is it? So the back end needs to be like right up against that that barrel, I presume. All right, so that's filling on up. So let's go into our production, shall we? And I think it's just called straw production, right? I think. So alphabetical order, sawmill, straw, and yep, we're gonna go ahead and activate and activate. Out of space. Okay, I've had this problem before, and I'm not sure why is it saying out of space. Interesting. Let me go ahead. If I put this to storing, let me put this to storing. I don't know why it's saying out of space. There is nothing here. This is where they would spawn. This disabled pallet spawns. Does that... Alright, let me turn on pallet spawns. Not too sure. It's funny because it worked before, and I haven't added anything that I think would affect that. Well, maybe if I like save the game and reload it, maybe it'll fix itself. For now, anyways, let's go ahead and leave the trailer there, the water tanker. Let's spin around here and grab... Ooh, that's a big bump. No, for a second there was like the low boy. No, we don't want the low boy. We want the logging trailer. And the same thing here. I would like to landscape around here, but right where the truck is, we don't own that land. So I built the sawmill right on the border, apparently. And maybe even a little bit over the border. Alright, let's go up to the hill, shall we? Alright, I do have to change. Every time I get in here, I don't know why it's always got it on for a number of pile of logs on here to be 2. So let's switch that to 1. And let's pick up this log that fell down last time. Alright, and we'll strap that in. Let me turn off the yaw loader again. And we don't own this land that's here. At least I don't think we do. Nah, you can see as far as I went with the landscaping, as far as let me. And now at least for the road at this part, it looks a little bit better. Although I got to finish putting in the road here, where the silage bales were. Oh, I better, while we're going by it, Francine's probably sitting in there going, it's getting kind of hot just sitting here. Let's go ahead and help her on out here. You can go home, Francine. Thank you very much. Let's turn that off. Spit those out if we could. Bring that up and we will fold it on up. And we'll park the Case Magnum right there for now. Alright, up the hill we go. Yeah, next time I get the tree harvester, when I cut down these trees and we can take care of the tree stumps, which we're just deleting with the easy developer mod. So I'm not going to go around and cut all the stumps up with a stump grinder. Got to make like a little bit of an axis up to the top of the hill here. And so far, stone pine, it hasn't done anything. Also on Cylindra, the stone pine hasn't done anything either. Alright, give me some logs here. Let me turn this back off. Turn it back on. I'm just going to go back in here, see, did that sort itself out? Still says out of space. Yeah, I'm not sure what's causing that. If anyone knows, let me know what causes that, because I had the same problem on Hinterland with I think it was the meat market was causing that. It kept saying out of space when we had plenty of space. I wasn't quite sure what was going on there. Are we full? Come on, pick up those logs. I do think that's a good enough load for this one. As I run over our little stone pine saplings, you might be able to see that little line of green just to the right of the truck, and another line to the left. We planted 240 saplings up here, so eventually it's going to be crowded with stone pine up here. When? I don't know. Oh yeah, let me turn off the autoloader. Be careful on this corner. With that much weight on the trailer, it could tip over. Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping that saving the game and maybe reloading the game back in, the straw production will be fine. Just try and take it easy on the corners here. And this road used to be, well, before it was grass, but it used to be a little bit bumpy. And now it seems kind of smooth. I think next plot of land that we buy will have to be over here so I can complete this road going around this side. Gotta fix that bump there. Also, in between episodes, I may buy that land and just get these roads all the way into the village. I'll just buy the land so I can get the roads done and then resell the land back. Okay, we'll unstrap that. Let's go over to here and do the hokey pokey. Nope, okay, gotta do it one more time. It's kind of weird that the logs won't fall down till you actually get into the truck, but it's the way it is. Alright, so how's the sawmill looking now? Sawmill. We were down to about 6, now we're to 49, so I can get another load in. Starting to get backed up a little bit on the long plank, so I'll have to clear that out and put that into storage. But we got a lot of work done today. That's pretty darn good. We got the barley field harvested. We got the previous oat field spread with lime. We get the straw bales partially in. We're picking up the silage bales. We got the sawmill up and going. As for the straw production, that should be up and going. Maybe the workers are on strike. I'm not too sure. But like I said, maybe just by saving the game, reloading in, may fix the problem. But I'm giving that like a 10% chance of happening. Just because I ran into that problem before on East Vineland with the meat production. And that never fixed the problem, so I'm not too sure what's causing the problem there. Like I said, we used that before. Last year, or the first year, was it? No, I think it was last year that we used it. Maybe, well, either way, we've used it before, and we didn't have that pop up, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. But anyways, I'm going to grab the rest of these logs off this hill, bring it to the sawmill so I can be up and running for a while. And when we come back next time, we'll be doing that grass field, which shouldn't take us too long. We just got to make bales into that so we can feed the sheep. You're going to pick up that log there. There we go. At least one of them or two of them. And then just do some calculations around the farm and move to the month of August. That wheat field should be ready by then. And I don't remember when I think potatoes are September, but we'll take on August when it comes. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching. As always, I'll catch you again right here in Hinterland. But until then, have a good one.